The iPhone 17 Pro is only 6 months away, and almost every single detail about it has already been leaked. So, since we're now in the mid-life cycle of the iPhone 16 Pro, I just wanted to do this video covering the 10 biggest changes coming to the iPhone 17 Pro. In case you guys are on the fence about getting a 16 Pro, or you're maybe thinking of waiting until September and getting the 17 Pro instead. But before that, a quick shout out to ESR, our sponsor, for their protective range of cases that actually include a touch capacitive camera control button. More about ESR later in the video. Okay, so the first and definitely the biggest change coming to the 17 Pro is its new design. You've probably seen this design floating around with this rectangular camera island housing the previous triangular camera design. This is the design that has been mentioned and leaked the most, and the idea here is that Apple is looking to give the iPhone 17 Pro a fresh look, since the back of it hasn't really changed since the iPhone 11 Pro. Instead, the camera island only got bigger. Some of the initial leaks were pointing towards a design like this, with an horizontally placed camera island, which, while yes, it did resemble the Google Pixel phones quite a lot, I much preferred it over this rumored actual design. Now, the reason for this weird design choice is apparently Apple wanting to keep support for spatial video, which does require the main camera and the ultra-wide camera to be placed in a vertical orientation in order to get stereoscopic 3D video when the phone is in landscape mode. Well, anyway, if you think that this design is weird for an Apple design, well, there's an even weirder one, which is actually the actual design that's going to happen. At least according to a couple of news sources, this is the iPhone 17 Pro that we'll apparently get to see in September. A design that will use a combination of materials in its body. Specifically, there will be a glass section for the logo area, and then the rest of the body will be made out of metal. Sonny Dixon then shared this image of some iPhone 17 dummy units, all showing this weird MagSafe battery pack style glass cutouts on the back. Sonny also shared the actual iPhone 17 Pro CAD models before this, and there you go. We can see this weird dual material design choice here too. Baijin also shared the same design back in February. In fact, some of the very first rumors for the iPhone 17 Pro from back in November also pointed towards this dual material body. Honestly, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but to me, this is by far the ugliest iPhone design by a mile. And I would also go as far as say that this is the ugliest phone that I've ever seen. So I do really hope that Apple does not end up doing something like this. Although, based on everything that we've seen, I think it's very likely. I guess the only positive thing here, for me, is the frame, which is said to be made entirely out of aluminium as opposed to titanium. This does mean that it won't be as durable as the iPhone 15 Pro or 16 Pro's frame, but it will be lighter, and also more matte. I did say this on a number of occasions that the black iPhone 15 and 16 is by far my favorite looking iPhone color, and that's because of the matte black and the matte frame, which just look incredible together. At the end of the day, even if Apple does end up releasing such an ugly design, I do think that most people will actually get used to it, just like we all got used to the design of the Apple Watch Ultra, which at launch, it looked very weird, being so thick, asymmetrical, and just unlike anything that Apple had done before. This iPhone 17 Pro design does kind of remind me of the Apple Watch Ultra's aesthetic. So that's the biggest change, the design. The other 9 changes are smaller, but still worth mentioning. For example, the iPhone 17 Pro Max specifically is said to be getting much thicker according to Ice Universe, from the current 8.25mm to 8.725, a pretty significant, close to half a millimeter thickness increase. This does indeed seem to be only on the Pro Max, which does make me think that the Pro Max will have a pretty significant battery size increase. And look, I don't mind a thick phone if the battery size is significant. Apple is still said to not be using silicon carbon batteries on the 17 Pro models, so I don't expect a significant battery size increase here. Maybe from the current 4685 to 4800 at most, that would be my guess, but don't expect anything crazy like 6000 like we have on the OnePlus 13, for example, which, by the way, has a super slim 8.5mm frame. Yes, that's how powerful silicon carbon battery tech is. Now, this next leak is a bit older, from March of last year, but it is coming from a reliable source, Instant Digital, reason why I thought it's worth mentioning. And that is an anti-reflective display coating that not only reduces the reflections, but also makes the display more scratch resistant. I absolutely do hope that this happens, as the anti-reflective coating on the S24 and S25 Ultra is just incredible. And compared to the 16 Pro Max, the reflections are significantly reduced. So outdoors, Samsung has a massive advantage, reason why I do hope that we also see this on the iPhone 17 Pros. But before that, did you guys know that it can actually cost up to $700 without Apple Care to replace the camera control button on an iPhone 16? Yeah, that's insane. And most case manufacturers leave the button exposed, but ESR, our sponsor, offers the ultimate protection for your iPhone. Their HaloLock Classic Hybrid case comes with a capacitive PCB stack, surrounded by tempered glass for the camera control that allows it to work like there's no case at all. Yeah, pretty crazy. And its stash stand is super useful for watching landscape content too, whilst also letting me charge my iPhone without getting in the way. Plus, the strong HaloLock magnetic design means that no matter how hard I shake it, it will always stay connected. And if I drop it, guess what? The air guard corners can protect my iPhone for up to 11 feet. So check out ESR's range of cases using the links below to help keep your iPhone protected too. So what about the camera upgrades? Well, here we're only expecting two notable upgrades: a new telephoto and then a new front camera. So when it comes to the new telephoto, this is rumored to be a new 48 megapixel resolution sensor from the current 12, and then also one that is larger at 1/2.6 inches as opposed to the current 1/3.1. That's an awesome upgrade, as number one, that 48 megapixel resolution will likely give us 2x sensor crop zoom on top of the already existing 5x optical zoom, so basically 10x lossless zoom. And number two, that larger sensor should also be much better in low light, a place where the 16 Pro Max telephoto heavily suffered. So it should be more comparable to the S25 Ultra's telephoto, although still a bit inferior, at least based on the specs. As for the front camera, this is said to be a new 24 megapixel sensor, up from the current 12, which is also said to have a 6-element lens, up from 5, for a significantly improved image quality. I do think that the iPhone's current front-facing camera is pretty good already, but hey, if we get a sharper image and better log performance thanks to the 2-in-1 pixel binning, then I'm definitely down for that. Okay, the next upgrade is when it comes to its performance. We're expecting the A19 Pro chip, which is said to be manufactured on TSMC's N3P process, which should give us some modest performance improvements. Fun fact, the A18 Pro is actually no longer the fastest mobile chip in terms of the multi-core performance. That is the 8 Elite 4 Galaxy, by quite a decent margin. So the A19 Pro may take the crown once again, at least for a month, until Qualcomm announces their next chip. But really, the big performance surprise here is the bump in RAM, from 8GB to 12. LPDDR5 memory, that is, too, for both Pro models. Now, the iPhone 16 Pro Max for me has been a mess in terms of bugs and glitches on iOS 18. Like, I've had constant crashes, apps that just take forever to load, or apps that just freeze entirely, and even apps that constantly reload from the background. Like, this is honestly the glitchiest iPhone and even phone that I've ever used. 12 gigs of RAM won't fix the issue, as that's just Apple needing to fix their bugs and glitches. But hey, at least it should reduce some of the RAM management issues. Okay, the next upgrade is said to be a brand new cooling system, according to leaker Instant Digital, for reducing system throttle when under heavy load. This isn't anything new, as most Android phones already have a vapor cooling chamber, which means that the A19 Pro chip may actually be a bigger jump in multi-core performance, since we won't be seeing as much of a throttle like we did before. And if you play any of those big AAA titles on your iPhone, you should get much better sustained performance. Also, we may be getting reverse wireless charging, according to leaker Instant Digital, who claims that Apple has been testing out 7.5 watt reverse wireless charging for charging things like AirPods, an Apple Watch, or maybe even a brand new upcoming MagSafe battery pack. And I think that's just awesome. More so for the Apple Watch charging functionality, as that simply means that when I travel, I won't need to carry that individual Apple Watch puck with me anymore. I can just simply charge it on the back of my iPhone, so I'm really looking forward to this. As for wired charging, this is said to be getting a bump from the current sustained maximum of 30 watts to 35. So not a huge difference, especially when you remember that even the 16 Pro was able to reach 38 watts of charging, albeit only for short amounts of time. I would love to see some insane 60 to 100 watt charging support on the iPhone so that we can charge it to full in less than 30 minutes like we can with most Chinese phones. Maybe one day. Now, do you guys remember Apple's custom cellular modem, the C1 that they've introduced with the iPhone 16e? Well, that's not coming to the 17 Pros, but a custom Apple Wi-Fi 7 modem is. Apple already uses Wi-Fi 7 modems in the iPhone 16 Pros, although those modems are made by Qualcomm, so it will be very interesting to see what sort of benefits Apple's own modem gives us. Okay, and the last big update is said to be in terms of video. But before that, we've got 3 new wallpaper packs for your devices, all of them with some distinct styles. First is Cute Critters by Cheese, which is this adorable illustrated pack that makes your phone, tablet, or desktop look extra cute. Second is Dragon Dungeons by Splashy, an awesome fantasy-styled landscape pack with dragons taking over your lock screen. And third is Amulet Elves by Wallrod, a minimalist amulet landscape pack that makes any device look super clean. You can check them all out, plus hundreds more for free on wallpapers for iOS and Android by using the links below. Now, back to the video recording updates. Mark Gurman stated that this year's iPhone lineup will get some big improvements to video recording, specifically focusing on the vlogging community. Now, of course, if I want to record myself, I would want to use that rear main camera and then also be able to see myself. So that idea of having a screen inside the new camera island does actually make a lot of sense now, although there have not been any actual leaks of this. Still, I would love to hear your thoughts on all of these 10 big iPhone 17 Pro changes, and do subscribe for more iPhone 17 Pro Leaks and Rumors episodes. Oh, and check out our app Wallpapers for some awesome designs, such as this one right here. I'm Daniel, ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH signing out. Cheers.